All right, so let's deploy a KALI DAO. A KALI DAO is a DAO with automated legal structuring options. You don't have to set up an entity, but we make that simple and we're not bullshitting you. This can actually be done in seconds. So let's actually do it. Let's connect to Arbitrum. Arbitrum is a layer 2 that will allow DAO deployment to be just a couple bucks. And let's think through a use case. Let's say I want to deploy a DAO for a food bank. I want that DAO to be able to manage a lease, to pay contractors. So I might choose a KALI DAO with a UNA, unincorporated nonprofit association wrapper. So let me put in the DAO name. Let me put in a symbol for the DAO token. I'm going to choose a template. We have 3 here, one for social clubs, more informal sort of DAOs and social tokens, investment clubs, people that are going to buy NFTs or make sort of startup investments, and then a company, services guilds, people that want to basically use smart contracts to run a business. We're going to use the social club template. I'm going to make a couple tweaks. I'm going to use 2 days for my voting period. 10% quorum, I think, makes sense. That basically means 10% of the DAO needs to show up in order for a vote to pass. 60% supermajority means we need 60% of the people that show up to approve. That seems reasonable. I'm going to restrict my shares, so that means that the DAO tokens can't be transferred. I'm going to add a redemption extension. This is basically the same as Moloch DAO Rage Quit. It allows people to burn their DAO tokens and get a proportionate amount of the DAO treasury out. I'm going to allow that to start in a month, just so we can have the DAO capitalize for operating expenses to start. I'm going to click next, and then I'm going to add some founders. Let's add myself 100 shares. I'm going to add another wallet here. Let me grab my numero dos. Boom, boom. Other founder, 100 shares. It's being a little bit slow. Let me click next. Now this is where KALI gets pretty interesting. We basically take all the parameters, things that users fill out, and we input those into legal docs. In the case of this DAO deployment, I'm not going to use any of the LLC or investment club templates. I'm going to use a UNA. UNA is an unincorporated nonprofit association. You can create a legal entity this way without filing with the state. If you are doing your DAO, you're operating for a nonprofit purpose, which I will be doing in the case of my food bank mission here. So we have one extra param to link to the mission. We have this checkout screen to look at the deployment parameters, things you need to check out here. I'm going to agree to the KALI terms. If I needed to form an LLC, we actually have a service where people can request filing and hiring of a registered agent. I won't be doing that today because, like I said, we don't need to file with the state if we're doing a UNA. I'm going to deploy my DAO. This just requires a user signature, paying the network fee. KALI DAO deployment is free, but people still need to have some gas. This will be a couple bucks on Arbitrum, which I would say is pretty cheap to create a legal DAO, if I could say so myself. Gonna wait for the transaction to mine and for the data to be fetched from the chain. I can see things are loading up. I have a couple options here. Of course, have the dashboard, which describes the DAO and the rules I just set. I can make a proposal through this app here. I can add more members. I can send assets for payments in a batch. I can also update my governance settings at any time. I can also kick people out, and I can call any arbitrary contract from a KALI DAO. So it has most things, or if not everything, that a DAO needs to operate. Let me go back to the dashboard to check my docs. So this might take a little bit of time to pin to IPFS, which is a distributed database for docs, but let me see how that's going. So that seems to have loaded up. So I have my KALI DAO, Food Bank DAO, I have a smart contract, I have my founder cap table of tokens that are voting tokens. And then I also have this nifty document that is drafted from the deployment, like I said, and it will reflect that we want to be UNA. Using Food Bank DAO UNA, I could enter into a lease agreement, I could pay contractors, and I could have separate liability from the DAO founders. So I think that's basically a valuable service and good for Ethereum people and other people that just want simpler ways to create sort of online bank accounts. They want to take in funding. They want